Hello, I'm Frances from Homestead, and I'm sowing seeds. So we're here in the 1st of April, and according to the almanac, my last frost date is June 1st. However, the saying around here, I should say, I've heard it many times in Washington, don't plant before Mother's Day. So it could be closer to the middle of May. So what I'm doing is the 1st of April, I'm planting seeds. So that gives me 6 to 8 weeks of growing time for my seedlings before I transplant them out. So I am starting my tomatoes. Now I put my tomatoes in these large solo cups. They're dirty because I used them last year, and I'm not going to go through and clean them all because I got a ton of them. I haven't done that over the past few years. I haven't cleaned them out and I haven't had any problems. So I'm just going to go with that. With tomatoes, of course, you only fill them half full so that you can continue to fill them up as they grow, to fill dirt around the stem so that eventually you get the dirt close to the top and it has a good opportunity to build up a really strong root system. The seed starting mix is mostly cocoa coir. And it's already slightly moist, but I'm going to moisten it a bit more before I start the seeds. They need a wet medium, of course, to be able to start. And then I'm putting them in these black seed trays, and I'm going to bottom water them. So of course I've put 3 holes in the bottom of the solo cups so that they can take up the water from the base. Now, cocoa coir is very water soluble, so it can take a lot of water, and that's why it's so good for seed starting mix, because it can bottom water very easily because it's really good about soaking up the water from the bottom. Okay, now this seed tray can hold 18 of these large solo cups, and that's about how many I want total of tomatoes. I'm going to be doing some cherry tomatoes, some paste tomatoes, and some Jet Star beautiful round eating tomatoes. I'm really hoping that I get some beautiful tomatoes this year. So I'm going to be doing 8 of the Jet Star. I am going to be putting 2 seeds in each cup. Okay. I just planted all 18 in Jet Star. I got crazy planting. I've got 18 in Jet Star. All right, let's try something else. Okay, this is the Amish paste. All right, I have all my Amish paste tomatoes labeled, and now I'm going to do some cherry tomatoes. And I don't need a lot of cherry tomatoes. One bush can produce quite a bit, but I'll do 2 just so I cover all the bases. Make sure I got plenty. Now these are the seeds I saved myself last fall. Pretty excited to see how it works out. I'm going to put 2 in each cup. Then I also have 2 yellow cherry tomatoes. Okay, so that's all my tomatoes. Now with the peppers, I go ahead and do them in the small solo cups. The bell pepper, I'm going to be doing 6. I'm also putting 2 in each cup because peppers can be a little finicky with starting, so I want to make sure I have at least 6 when I'm done. I am going to be putting the peppers and tomatoes on heating mats to help them with the germination. I purchased those this winter so that I would hopefully have a better chance of germinating the peppers, because I really did struggle with them last year. Now I'm going to do the same with the jalapeno. I want 6 jalapeno. I'm going to do 4 Thai chilies. Okay, that's my tomatoes and my peppers. And I'll be putting both of these seed trays on heating mats to help them germinate. Now that I have my tomatoes and peppers on a heating mat, I'm going to focus on getting some tomatillos, some basil, and some loofah gourds started. So I'm going to start with the tomatillos. So I'm going to be doing 4 tomatillos with 2 seeds in each cup. Next, I want to do some basil. Now I'm wanting to do some loofah, and it has a pretty long growing season, so I want to give it a head start because we have a shorter growing season here. Now I made sure I got heirloom loofah seeds because I definitely want to be able to collect the seeds for these. They're very prolific, and I didn't want to take a chance of not being able to collect the seeds. Okay, that's all the seeds I'm going to be starting today. A lot of my vegetables I'm going to be direct sowing after Mother's Day, because I found that the squashes, the melons, cucumbers, green beans, those things seem to do better starting in the ground than transplanting. There were several that didn't make it when I transplanted, so then I started more seeds in the ground and they all caught up. So I'm thinking I'm just going to all direct sow in the middle of May. What I'm going to be doing right now is I also want to plant some seeds directly in the ground for flowers. I've got some marigolds and some nasturtiums and cosmos that I'm going to put right in the ground over in my cottage garden. Now I'm going to be planting seeds in my cottage garden. And I have some nasturtiums, some zinnias, echinacea, columbine, and morning glories. Now, I purchased these. These I ordered in the mail. These ones I got out of the garden center. But these ones are marigolds. And I collected all of these from the marigolds that I had in the terrace garden by the vegetables last spring and summer. I bought the package of marigold seeds, and I planted all of them throughout the area. I will never have to buy marigold seeds ever again. There's so many here, and I'm gonna scatter them all over the cottage garden, and I'll collect more if I want to scatter them more. But the amazing thing about marigolds is once you plant marigolds, they pretty much come up year after year because they reseed themselves, because their seed is very prolific. But I have a lot, so we'll see how much I get scattered. And all of these seeds are flowers that can be planted in early spring, so that way they're more frost or cold resistant and they can tolerate. I have a lot more flower seeds, but I have to wait until after the threat of the last frost before I can plant them. But these ones I can put in right away. Now, I also have some dahlias and some tiger lilies. I got several different colors of dahlias, and these are more of a tuber. And my oldest sister sent me a wonderful birthday present a couple months ago, telling me, get some more flowers for your cottage garden. So this is what I spent on it, seeds and tubers. So I'm pretty excited about getting these in the ground. Now my younger sister came out last week, and she spent a day helping me plant all of the iris. I had dug up irises from around the house that had been here before we moved. And there was yellow, and there was a variegated purple, and then there was a purple and white that was just gorgeous. I dug up all of those tubers, and I had them sitting in 3 different 5-gallon buckets. It was a lot. And she came and spent the whole day helping me plant all of those tubers throughout the whole cottage garden. I'm so grateful to her. But now I need to get these others out. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. So the lilies are starting to sprout, and I'm supposed to plant them in clusters. So I'm going to get them in a nice big bunch. Okay, the tiger lilies are in. Now let's get all the dahlia tubers. All right, now I have the tiger lilies and the peonies all planted and situated. It's such a big space. It's really taken me a lot of figuring, trying to figure out where I want everything because it's just massive. It's not like it's a little garden bed. This is a whole thing. Anyway, behind me is this tree that I consider it dead because it didn't bloom or leaf at all last year. However, there is those on the homestead who believe that it is still wet. So my plan is to plant morning glories. They climb on everything. So it'll be beautiful to have them covering the tree with green leaves and beautiful pink and blue flowers. And they reseed themselves as well. So I won't have to worry about replanting. That's the whole thing with this cottage garden. No replanting. I'm doing it once, just once. And hopefully that way it'll just be a matter of watering and it'll take care of itself. Okay, the marigolds are in, and I'm gonna get a mulch to put on top of that to keep them moist so I don't have to water them every day. But when they're seeds, until they sprout, they definitely have to be moist. So I'm gonna get some mulch, spread it on, water it down, and check it every day. So I'm gonna prepare this ground around the tree to plant some zinnia seeds. Now I have some nasturtium seeds I want to plant over here on the edge of my herb spiral, and I want to let them spill over the rocks right here in the front of the herb spiral. Okay, I have a lot of seeds planted. If half of the seeds come up that I planted, I'll be very happy. I really overplanted just in case, because I don't know a lot about flowers in this area, so I don't know how well they're going to do. But I'm hoping at least some of those seeds are going to germinate and sprout and produce some beautiful flowers. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. I'll be sure to keep you updated on my tomatoes and peppers and all of the beautiful flowers that I've planted in seed. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. Please like and subscribe. Until we meet again.